Hello and welcome to this video. What is casting? Casting basically is the process of converting from one data type to another data type. There are several functions that you can use in casting. For example, if you want to cast a value that is in a different data type to an integer, you use the int function. If you want to cast to a floating point number, you use a float function, and if you want to cast to a string, you use the str function. Let's create a new notebook. So I'm going to click on the drop down, click Python 3, and I'm going to give this a name. I'm going to call it casting data types, and I'll click the rename button. So let's cast a value that is a float into an integer. To do that, we're going to use the int function. So I'll type in int, and inside that int function, I'm going to pass in a value that is a floating point. So I'll do 2.8, and I'll run this cell. You can see here it has returned 2, which is a whole number, and an integer. So it's converted the value of 2.8, which was a floating point, into an integer data type. So let's try and convert a whole number into a floating point number. So we're going to have to use the float function, and inside the float function, I'm going to pass in a whole number, which is an integer. So let's pass in 40, and then I'll run that. You can see here it's converted it to 40.0, which is now a floating point number. Next, let's convert an integer into a string. So to do that, we're going to use the str function, and we're going to pass in a value that is a whole number. So let's pass in the value of 3. Now if I run this, it will convert this into a string data type. So I click on run. You can see here it's converted into a string because it has quotes on either side. Anything with quotes on either side is treated as a string. So that's basically how casting works. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.